In today's video, what I want to do is talk about one of the biggest costs for a business that most business owners don't actually factor in when they're making their plans. So, if you talk to a business owner, the chances are they'll tell you about some of the more noticeable costs in their business. So they'll say, okay, well, to produce this sale, I need to buy X amount of materials for that customer, and that's essentially the cost of their materials or any other customer specific things they need. So that's a cost of sale. Then they might go on to say, okay, well, I've got a premises, so I've got to pay for the rent on this premises or the mortgage on this premises. I've got staff, so I've got to pay their salaries. We've got other overheads in the business, and they'll tell you about those overheads. And that's usually where they just leave it. And they might even go on to the cost of tax, because actually, if you think about take home pay, you do need to think about what tax costs to achieve that take home pay. So, quite often business owners really only talk about three types of costs for them. But there's a fourth type, which in my opinion is the most important, and that is what we call opportunity cost. And the reason why opportunity cost is so important is because what you've got to do is not just figure out if you're making a profit in monetary terms, but what you've got to do is you've got to figure out if you're making a profit in real terms. So what an opportunity cost is not about opportunity cost isn't about something you physically paid one of your suppliers or physically paid someone else for a service that you're using in your business. What opportunity cost is about is the cost of taking one approach over another. It's the cost of going down one path compared to another. And this is what it means. So let's say you left a job to start your business. So and that job was paying you £40,000 a year, right? So on the first in the first year of your business, you might be doing really everything yourself, right? So you may say, okay, well, my costs are minimal because I've done most of the stuff myself. So and I made like £10,000 as well, in terms of sales. So because I had no costs and I made that £10,000 in sales, well, my profit is really £10,000, and that's just looking at purely from a monetary point of view. But what you should really be saying is, well, I gave up a job paying £40,000 a year, so my costs in that first year were £40,000, and then I made £10,000 in sales. So £10,000 minus my £40,000 of costs is actually a 30k loss. And I know people are going to comment and tell me how depressing I'm being in terms of calculating all this, but it's really, to get ahead in your business, you've got to get your head out of the sand, and the opportunity cost is doing factoring that in is doing that. So the reason the opportunity cost is really, really important is it helps you understand if you are making a real profit. If one of your main objectives is money, then you can't comfortably say you're making a profit if you're getting paid making less money than you would in an alternate scenario using skills that you already have. So that's where opportunity cost comes into it. But on if your business is a bit more mature and you've gone past the first year, then other instances where it's going to come into play is really, as your business grows, you may be limited by the amount of cash you have available to actually grow that business. So there'll be instances where you may have to pick between two types of staff. You may need someone on the operations side, or you may need a salesperson. If you go with the operations person, fine, you can fulfill more work, and they're going to make you get you a return on that. But then you'll have one less salesperson, which means you'll get less sales coming in. So you're always trying to do this way up, which one's better, because growing your business is often about making compromises and picking where you have to prioritize and invest the funds that you do have available. So being aware of that opportunity cost is a really, really important example. And actually, in my opinion, I think the most important example of opportunity cost is where you have to say no to the wrong kind of client so you can work with the right kind of client. And ultimately, a lot of business owners, they just view every potential customer as a source of income, and they don't realize actually, by focusing all their energy and resources on dealing with the wrong kind of customer, then they are shutting themselves off from acquiring the right kind of customer where they might be able to make a much better margin and much better profit. So this is what opportunity cost is. It's not something I made up. It's a real management accounting term that is in all the textbooks. And but more importantly, it's as you get higher up in business, this is a massive consideration at the board level. So if you're looking to build up your business to a point where you can one day sell it, you do want people on board, you do want a larger team, then opportunity cost is absolutely something you've got to be very, very familiar with. And more importantly, though, if you want to understand how you can start moving in the right direction to building that bigger business, then what you really need to do is go to our website at naccounting.co.uk and book yourself in for a free strategy session with myself, and we'll talk about how you can start moving in the right direction and growing your business. So take me up on that offer. It'll be really, really worthwhile for you, and I will